would happen if we really trusted the power of God? What would happen if we really trusted the power of God? Jesus tells us in the gospel, I have come that you might have life and have it to the fullest. Do you believe that? Do you really believe those words? I have come to bring you life so that you may have it to the fullest. What more could we ask of our God? And yet, there's skeptics among us, aren't there? Skeptics who underestimate the power of God, and we underestimate our current circumstances. Somehow we lose the expectations and our hope in our expectations. Sometimes it's really difficult to trust God's ability to act in our lives. We look at all the things that are happening in our lives, and we say, is God, are you really there? Are you really present? Do you really care? And so we live life small. This just isn't enough. This absolutely isn't enough. Whether it's 2 fish or 5 loaves of bread, this place in my life, this job, this relationship, this marriage, this church, just isn't enough. And so we base our lives on survival. We base our lives saying, I really don't expect much out of life. And sometimes I just feel absolutely overwhelmed, and I give up all my hopes and all my dreams. We share a lot with Philip and Andrew, don't we? A lot with Philip and Andrew. But Lord, it just isn't enough to satisfy us. We can't see beyond the 5 loaves and the 2 fish or the 6 months' wage. We don't have enough, so send them away. It's not our responsibility. It's not enough. It's impossible. Mumble, mumble, grumble, grumble. Always living on the edge of what God has to offer us. The gospel today isn't about sharing the little that we have. The gospel is about being able to see what happens in our lives when God's power is at work. What would happen this week if we put the Jesus factor to work? Now, what's the Jesus factor? Counting on his presence and his power in every moment of our life this week. Every circumstance, every instance, every difficulty, every problem, every good thing. Absolutely trusting in that power of God. And so this week we would trust when the storms of our lives come, we know that Jesus will calm the winds and ease the fear. We trust that when I can't see the road ahead of me, that Jesus will open my eyes to see new possibilities. I will trust that when I feel overwhelmed by failure, weakness, sin, that somehow Jesus still looks at me, still looks at each and every one of us, and says over and over, your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven. We need to trust that when we feel there just isn't enough room for me in God's life, somehow we just don't trust that God is there. That Jesus says, not only is there room for you, in fact, there are many dwelling places. There's room not only for you, but there's room for me too. And we trust that when we want to give up on life, Jesus says, I have come to not only bring you life, that's right, life, but I want you to experience life in its fullness. God bless you.